Hello everybody, this is Metallic Penguin. Thank you for choosing to watch this channel. John Carmack said that video games are like pornography. Nobody likes stories in either one. John Carmack would know a thing or two about video games. He created Doom. And by and large, I don't necessarily agree with him. I do like a good story, but let's just say it like this. And I don't want to be messy, so to say, but let's just say it like this. There was a video game that I wanted to review for this channel, and I got to playing it, and I gotta tell you, it was too story heavy. It was way too story heavy. And so I thought, I do want to include CRPG Let's Plays on this channel. So let's just play a really good one. So today, we're going to play the first of Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 came out in 2023. It won Game of the Year. It is widely thought of as an instant classic. The thing about Baldur's Gate 3, it is a turn-based CRPG. It is meant to mimic the Dungeons & Dragons experience, meaning the player will have a turn and then the AI will have a turn. Now, the thing you should know, the thing any parent or, somebody who doesn't want to see, quote, adult relationships, unquote, on their YouTube experience. I don't know, you could be watching in front of kids or whatever. I'm going to try to edit that out, but I will tell you, without doing any spoilers, I will tell you, if everything goes according to plan, there's going to be a character I'm going to meet that's going to have a mechanic that he'll be able to do. And you might not know why, but the reason why is because he's entered a relationship. Anyway, spoiler free. I choose to go on balanced mode simply because I think most of the people are going to be going on balanced mode. Lord knows this game is hard enough. I'm going to be quiet while it has this cinematic here. And now we've entered character creation.
Who are you?
Now, because this is a party-based CRPG, you're basically going to create essentially the leader of your party. Now, for myself, I'm partial to magic, and I love ranged combat, so that's what I'm going to go with. Real quick, The people off to the left here, these are all characters you're going to meet later on in the story. One of my goals for this game, or I guess for this playthrough, is to test out certain theories that I have about how to play this game. Real quick, while I'm going through this, I just wanted to tell you guys that this is an open world game, meaning that you're pretty much free to basically rove around the map as you were. But there are ways to soft lock the game, meaning you essentially can't progress. And one of the goals for this particular playthrough is I had a couple of theories about how to get around soft locking, or how to prevent, I guess, soft locking. Now you'll see the different races. The different races can handle weapons. So if you have, for example, a tiefling or say a Githyanki, they can handle weapons that their profession, or I guess as they say in Dungeons and Dragons, the class wouldn't necessarily have access to. So if you're somebody that you want to have a sword for melee combat, but you also want to be a wizard, perhaps you should go with a Githyanki, or like something like that. Anyway, I went with a Githyanki. You'll see. And these are the spells you start out with. Cantrips are different spells, but they're equally as magical. They don't require as many points. Githyankis are traditionally villains in Dungeons and Dragons. But in this game, you can actually play and be the hero in one. And to do that, you even have to go a little bit against type, I guess, or against character. And this is my character here. This is a being that will stick with you, basically on another level. And there is actually, well, I'm not going to get into that, but they'll basically stick with you on another level or plane of existence. And occasionally you'll see them in dreams and such. And now he's leaving the chamber, and we are going to inexplicably wake up in just a second and begin the tutorial. I love this game. It's so beautiful. I can easily see why it won Game of the Year 2023. So, just real quick, we were on a ship. We had been abducted by these creatures. And what they do is they turn humans, or beings they capture, basically into them. And the ship basically is going to crash onto the Sword Coast region of the Forgotten Realms. And basically the story deals with the political and military fallout of this crash of this gigantic ship. And you can see here the dragons are attacking it. You know, I saw recently on the early access build of Baldur's Gate 3, you could actually get on the roof of the ship and fight and interact with some of the thralls, or I guess, slaves. And okay, scene. Now we're going to begin the tutorial. Alright. Okay, we're coming out of our pod. This is us right here, Chaz. And alright, so it's an open world. Now you can see there on the bottom, you've got your hot spells, or I guess your hot bar for spells. We come equipped with 2 potions and a scroll to bring somebody back to within 1 hit point, so they can rest, but the resting mechanic hasn't happened yet. Okay, and it's wise to explore the realm, so that's what we're doing. We're exploring the room right fast. Okay, you hit bottom, or I guess lower left alt, to uncover stuff, and you walk up to the thing and you can loot it. It's always good to loot stuff in this game. And I'm just saying this in case like this is your first CRPG ever in the history of ever. And okay, something I should say right off the top, right now, is like you just saw, I lost a hit point. Um, the environment in this game can bite back, and often does. Okay, that circle up there in kind of the upper right corner, that's the map. That's our representation of the map of the ship. Okay, real quick to control everything. WASD moves the camera. Q and E rotates the camera. Um, you move the mouse. You mouse over directions with left click. You really don't want to walk too far in this game. You don't want to bring your mouse like too far, because pathfinding, even in this AAA game, pathfinding is a little bit wonky, shall we say. Okay, this is a very important early thing, and we got to play our cards right here. A little conspiracy theory that I have is that there was a patch put out recently that made picking up this particular companion a little bit harder than it used to be. You can pick out the choices there, and the choices actually do matter. That's a genre of games practically, but the choices do matter. I should mention that one of the geniuses of this game, one of the things I really love about this game, is it basically shows its math. What I mean by that is you can actually see the dice rolls come up. And, some people may think, oh, that's immersion breaking. But remember, we're mimicking a Dungeons and Dragons game. Okay, we're going to meander on back here down. Now, I should point out that you can't really control this brain creature. They call him a mind flare. But, well, you can in combat. But, not right now. You see how it's kind of tethered to the right? This is Lazel. This is a member of your party. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about party-based CRPGs. Part of the game, part of the joy of this game, is that you're creating a party of adventurers that you're going to go adventuring with on the Sword Coast. And usually the game makes it very, very easy for you to do that. But there are places where you can mess up. Okay, this is the combat tutorial. This is the first combat tutorial. Now, right there, see, I'm controlling us, and that's the name of the brain. And okay. It's basically a brawler tank type. Okay, the way, if you've never played this game before, if you've heard about the hype train, but you've never played this game before, the deal is you kill creatures or you do certain actions, and you get experience points, and you level up. And in Dungeons and Dragons, like, you have to get exactly double, like, the amount of experience points you need doubles for each level. So it's really easy to get to level 2. It's a little harder to get to level 3. Level 4 is pretty hard. Not hard, but takes more time. Etc. And one of the things about me is, as far as with games like this, is I like to play with ranged combat as often as I can. I'm not one of these people that likes to get in and brawl unless the character is created to do that. Now it's very important here, what I'm about to tell you. There's a spot on the ship. You'll see it there. Hold on. Okay, right here, I think we're looting dead bodies from the accident. Okay, like I'm saying, that the light thing on the lighted area there on the left, that's a rejuvenation station. And this is where I was just examining with the camera where everything was. If there was any enemies about. And there it is, like I'm saying, the rejuvenation station. When you see the lighted numbers with the plus sign, that means that your hit points went up. And there's the mesh. We climb up the mesh. Here, that's. And there's another. I mean, there's several different ways to get to the next room, which the next room is pretty important for reasons you'll see in a second. I want to say right now, I haven't said, this might be obvious to some people, but because this is a turn-based game, what happens is like your party moves and then the AI moves. So like right now, no monster or whatever is going to come up on you until you actually move. okay, this is a pretty important character. It's fairly important that we can get her out of the pod. It's fairly important, I'll say. Again, your choices matter, and basically, different characters that you create would approach this differently. But you need to be somewhat careful because you can actually do it to where, like, she doesn't get out of the pod, and you'll find out in a second. But she's a healer, and there's a couple of dice checks in there. You see the game, like, showing you the math, so to speak. Now, like I say, you can manipulate a camera and go around and then move, move the characters you control. Which at this point, you're basically you click the leader, and the rest of them will follow. So Chaz is the leader, and the way that works is like in a dialogue, like that person becomes the leader, and then like so Chaz in this case, if there were any dialogue checks, Chaz would be the one to do the dialogue in the group. And there she is. We finally released her. Now, one thing I should say is that because Gith Yankee, that's our main character, that's also Lizelle's race, or Lizelle's race. Because our main character are Gith Yankee, they're not going to be popular with the other races in the game initially. And in fact, you could actually do a playthrough where it's like you can have all your party members, or you can do a solo run. I don't know. I wouldn't do a solo run. I mean, to me, that would be incredibly hard. Also, the journal is an important way to keep up with your quests. Uh, keep up with your progress, basically. That's very important. Here we are going through the ship. This ship is alive, actually, and okay, we're about to see something that could be some foreshadowing. Now, here's what you do. As far as looting is, you press the lower left Alt key, and it'll highlight everything you can see, and also you can just pick up things like I did there with the brain. And why did I do that? I don't know why I did that, because possibly you could combine it with other things and create something. And here's a chest. In this area here, there's going to be a chest I pick up. And I'll show it to you when we go to the camp, which we're not going to go to the camp in this video, but there's a camp that we can go to. Okay, whenever you get what's called a cutscene, you know you've progressed in this game to the next, I guess, the next challenge. And this is going to set up the final, what they call boss battle for the tutorial. Okay, you see the number 15. You have 15 turns to safely land the ship, and there's various distractions. Um, you could get involved with the major boss, but please don't, because you're not going to make it, and also you could potentially, die in the crash. The thing you'll notice in this game is I find ranged weapons are the key, I think, by and large. Come at me in the comments if you want, but that's what I think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Um, I should add, while this is going on, that I want to talk a little bit about the mission of this channel. This channel is a gaming channel first and foremost, but I game on Linux. This is all Linux gaming. I use Pop OS. Also, this is an adaptive gaming channel, meaning that I have to use either adaptive gear or basically one-handed type situations to play games with. So if any of that appeals to you, again, I'll do Let's Plays, I'll do documentaries. You might have seen the Civilization documentary on Civ 1, but I also game on Linux. I'm not what I would call a Linfluencer by any stretch of the imagination, but I do game on Linux. Now you see what I did there. I selected the the arrow to shoot. Again, why? Because I think ranged combat is the way to go in Baldur's Gate 3. Well, other CRPGs as well, but ranged combat is, I think, where it's at. And there you see the 15. Like when I get rid of this turn, it'll go down to 14. What I want to draw your attention to up top is that's how much these are all the people involved in the battle, or all the beings, I guess, involved in the battle. And the red, the more the red goes up the picture, the fewer hit points or the more damage that has been done to the being or character or whatever you want to call it. Down below in the comments, if you want to comment on my video here, I'm thinking about doing a documentary about the video game Rogue. The reason I'm wondering if the reason I'm asking for a comment as to whether or not you want to see something like that. Rogue hasn't gotten a lot of traffic on YouTube. Rogue is the game for which the genre roguelike is named. And personally, I think it's a pretty important video game as far as video games go. And one of the things I want to do with this channel is I want to provide documentaries about video games. So I'm thinking about either that, or if you want to just comment what type of video games, or if there's a video game or a genre of video game that you would like me to do a documentary on, that'd be great as well. And again, for the documentaries and I guess the dramatizations, I'm going to do the AI voices. I don't think I have a actor's voice, and I don't think I have a documentarian voice. But for the Let's Plays, we're going to get my voice. We're going to get the actual voice of Metallic Penguin. And there's the theory I have that whenever you see a cutscene in this game, you've progressed, you've advanced. And this is another layer of fighting. Now, you'll notice with these, especially at this level, I think melee is not the way to go. I think magic or ranged weapons are how to do it. And again, the main goal here is to get to the switch in the back. Although you do want to sort of spam or farm experience because you do actually want to progress to level 2. And there we've connected the ship. There we've connected the ship, and there's chaos. And that's going to do it pretty much for this episode of this Let's Play on the Metallic Penguin channel. I've been Metallic Penguin. May you light up the world with your wisdom.